Welcome guys to a very special video. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys exactly how I built an aesthetic, muscular physique and lost 40 pounds of fat while gaining lean muscle using the Forged Physique Blueprint. Now, you guys are going to want to take out a notebook, take out a pen, and take note on the information that I'm providing you guys with this video so that you can actually take action on it and also achieve these ridiculous results. How did I accomplish these results? None of my friends were in fantastic shape that I could really look up to or learn from. No one in my family was into health and fitness as much as I was. And the shocking thing is that I was already in the gym for 2 hours every single day. I was already having protein shakes and taking supplements, trying to see progress within my physique. I was already putting in the effort, and it took me years to crack the code to the results that I genuinely used to think were impossible. Now, who is this video presentation for? If you're sick of the same physique you see every time you look in the mirror, knowing that you're capable of so much more, this video is for you. If you're wishing you could take your shirt off in public and show the world a hard-earned six-pack, this is for you. If you're excelling in other aspects of your life, such as career, relationships, etc., but the dream physique that you told yourself you would be able to achieve one day is never there, this is for you. If you're aiming to develop systems and routines within your life and your lifestyle that guarantee results and allow you to keep progressing even when things get tough, this is for you. And if you're done being the average Joe that works out but never really has the insane results to show for it, this video is going to be for you. Who is this not for? If you're looking for a quick and easy one trick fixes all solution to get in the shape of your dreams, this is not for you. If you're looking to be committed during the week, but then completely let loose on the weekend, this is not for you. If you're only interested in changing your physique and you really think you're going to achieve that without leveling up your mindset, your willpower, your discipline, and your overall lifestyle, this is not going to be for you. And if you're wanting to get in great shape using a minimalistic mentality, you want to do the bare minimum, put in the most minimalistic efforts, yet still achieve an amazing result, I promise you that the progress won't come and you will be stuck looking at the old you in the mirror again. So this definitely is not for you. And if you're not ready to commit to challenging routines that enhance your well-being as a man, this is not going to be for you. Now, here's the truth. You don't need elite genetics and steroids to achieve that top 1% physique. However, you do need an unmatched work ethic. Achieving 1% results means that you're willing to do what 99% of people aren't willing to do. What we need to be focusing on is consistency with all the right habits and routines. Eating the right high protein, nutrient dense diet that's sustainable to eat year round. Effective workouts that actually stimulate muscle growth when you're training in the gym. And realize that the gym doesn't have to be your whole life, but it definitely has to be part of your lifestyle. We need to be becoming the kind of person who genuinely deserves the aesthetic physique, the hard-earned six-pack, the dream result. But don't worry, I'm not going to let you stay mediocre. There's no such thing as bad genetics or not enough potential. You just need to optimize your lifestyle and your training to line up with the physique that we want to be achieving. And if you want that person to be you, I'm going to show you exactly how to skyrocket your progress and break through any plateau. Pack on the most amount of lean mass, whether you're trying to cut fat or gain overall mass, and become the most energetic, high confidence, possible version of yourself. Now, in case you don't know me, here's a brief backstory about how I got here. I started off from ground zero as 130 pounds. I was a 130-pound kid with zero muscle on my frame. I was super skinny. I then made decent progress in the gym for a few years. I developed some muscle on my frame, and it actually looked not half bad. But I then completely plateaued with mid results, and I couldn't find what I was missing to take my results to that next level. These two pictures were taken a year apart. So a full year of showing up in training, of having supplements, of having protein shakes, of going through the motions, yet my progress looked like it wasn't even there. My physique looked identical. My poor discipline and lack of routine led me to completely lose myself. I gained a lot of weight. I lost any abs and any aesthetics that I had. However, I figured out the best protocol anyone can use to build muscle, get lean, and finally take control of the progress they want to make. So these pictures are a year apart. I was barely making any progress. That led me to completely lose myself and take my physique down the wrong path. It only got worse. 6 months after that, I was able to develop into my dream physique of having a shredded six pack, of having bigger arms, a toned physique. And this was all possible through the method that I'm going to be showing you guys here. The Forged Physique Blueprint is my method I built through my own trial and error by in-depth research into fitness, nutrition, and time progressions to be able to maximize the inputs and therefore undeniably achieve the desired result, aka your dream physique. Now, I've decided to break it all down for you. In the next few minutes, I'm going to outline the entire process, A to Z, of what I did for myself and my clients to be able to accomplish these results. So you can too use my Forged Physique Blueprint to shred fat, build muscle, and follow a proven roadmap that takes all the guesswork out of your transformation. The Forged Physique Blueprint. This is a 3-phase method that will not only optimize your progress in physique, but it will genuinely change your life forever. The first phase is going to be building a foundation. This is where you dial in your training form, your routine, and nutrition so that you're able to build a strong base, and then your body can finally respond to the training and start building real muscle. This is where we build the foundation and the base, which then you can build off of and start escalating your progress. The next stage is ramping up. This is where you're going to increase volume and intensity of your workouts while introducing more free weights and more movements. This is paired with smarter nutrition strategies to fuel growth and recovery. So this is us just accelerating on our foundation and making things even better, even harder. And the last and final phase is the skyrocketed gains phase. This is where you master advanced training techniques paired with goal-driven nutrition. This is where your calories are directly aligned to accelerate fat loss or muscle gain, sculpt your physique, and take your progress to that next level. Now, let me show you how each phase will allow you to get jacked and take your progress to that next level. First phase, building a foundation. Foundation fueling nutrition. The first thing we need to focus on with our nutrition is eliminating fluff within your diet. Now, fluff is really exactly what it sounds like. It's foods that don't need to be in your diet. It's foods that aren't providing you with any nutritional value, and they're just empty calories that don't need to be there. Now, this is usually processed foods, processed sugars, carbs that are just spiking your blood sugar, and they're not actually helping your body build muscle, burn fat, any of those things. So we need to start eliminating that fluff within our diet. The next thing we need to do is start hitting targeted protein goals for peak recovery. Imagine you're a construction project manager. You you want to build a building. So you hire a bunch of construction workers, they're on the job site ready to build this building, and you don't provide them with any materials. They don't have logs, they don't have bricks, they don't have anything to use to build this building. The building's not going to be built. The progress isn't going to be made, and that's exactly what we're doing if we can't provide our body, or our construction workers in this case, with the materials to build the building. So we need to be hitting our targeted protein goals every single day to actually build the muscle that we're training to build. With this comes mastering protein intake, meal structure. So this is an example of ground beef that I still prep to this day every single week so that I have access to protein, to a leaner source of protein whenever I need it, so that I can actually recover and build muscle. This is an example of my current protein intake meal structure. It's just taking your overall protein goal. How many grams of protein do we need to be hitting? 1 gram per pound of body weight. And dividing that into how many meals or snacks we're going to be having throughout our day. So these 4 meals, over 50 grams of protein each, allow me to hit over 200 grams of protein and actually build the muscle that I'm training to build. So we need to put together a plan, divide that, and then hit that targeted protein number every single meal. The last thing we're going to do is understanding quality of foods that are aligned with your goals. This kind of flows into eliminating fluff. We're eliminating the fluff and replacing it with high quality foods that actually provide your body with macronutrients, micronutrients, all the things we need to start sculpting that dream physique. Form first training. Constructing a tailored training plan to adhere to on a weekly basis. Consistency is so important here. We need to be hitting each muscle group 2 to 3 times per week. So this training plan has to be tailored to your goals, to what goals you want to be accomplishing within your physique. And it doesn't have to be every single day that you're in the gym, but you need a training plan that checks 2 things. You're able to target each muscle group 2 to 3 times per week because that is the most effective way to stimulate muscle growth within your body. And you need to be able to show up and hit those workouts consistently, week after week, without missing random days. We're going to be perfecting form, mobility, and range of motion with your core movement patterns. This directly flows into us building a base. Before we start implementing more fancy training techniques and more complicated movements, we need to perfect the foundation. We need to perfect our form, train with good form with each and every exercise. We need good mobility within our body, and we need to be training with a good range of motion. Developing mind-muscle connection with exercises. This is so important. When we're in the gym, we want to be able to say, I'm trying to target this muscle group with this exercise. And then mind-muscle connection allows you to isolate that muscle group and feel your muscle working as you're going through the set. So then once you put the weight down, you're like, oh, that was really good. I felt the stimulus because I have developed mind-muscle connection with the specific muscle group. Optimizing and tracking progressive overload and getting stronger. This is so important. We need to make sure that we keep getting stronger because this is our biggest sign that we're genuinely growing and building muscle, when we're able to use the same form, the same range of motion, yet still add a few more reps, some weight, a few more sets, and keep getting stronger, keep building muscle. The second phase, ramping up. Calorie strategic dieting. This stage, we're going to be mapping out a specific calorie goal towards your desired body weight. So whether we're trying to pack on some mass and increase our body weight, or shred fat and decrease our body weight, we need a specific calorie goal to be hitting so that we know for a fact that if we just stick to these calories, we're going to be able to achieve the desired physique on the other end. You're going to adjust your meal plan prep. So the protein meal structure that we put together in the first phase, this is where you adjust it and tweak the calories, not only the protein, but the calories, so that you're able to achieve that desired body weight. Committing to 1 or 2 meals/snacks that you will eat on a daily basis, rep meals. So this is just making things easier for yourself. It's eliminating the guesswork. So instead of waking up and being clueless as to what you're going to have for breakfast, or for your post workout meal, you're clueless as to what you're actually going to have for protein when you get home. Instead, we commit to one or two meals that you're going to have every single day that we know for a fact get you closer to your goal. They need to be enjoyable and directed towards your goals, and you need to understand the macro content of this specific repetitive meal. This is just a hack just to take your progress to that next level. Because if you have meals that are aligned with your goals right now, you then have some flexibility to branch out, go out to eat with friends, do whatever you need to do, knowing that you already had a certain base of meals that has gotten you closer to your goals. And increasing testosterone health, making sure we're getting in vitamin D, B vitamins, magnesium, and others to increase our testosterone health and maximize our energy. Elevated training, incorporating more personalized accessory work for arms, shoulders, chest, back, and legs. So pretty much your whole body, but this is where you've already built that foundation. You've mastered your basics of form, mobility, and range of motion, and you're able to take a look at your physique and say, okay, these are my weak points, these are my strong points. I can increase volume for these muscle groups, decrease them here. Do whatever you need to do to start sculpting that aesthetic physique. Also, transitioning to free weight, more complex movements. So, a lot of machines and a lot of basic movements are very effective at stimulating muscle growth. But transitioning to more free weight and more complex movements overall is a great way to keep making your workouts even harder and therefore stimulate even more muscle growth using dumbbells, using free weight movements. Mastering sets till muscular failure and optimized intensity. So now that we have our foundation built, we're able to really crank the intensity in our sets, really push ourselves to muscular failure, which is where hypertrophy, aka muscle growth, is actually stimulated. Accessories for optimized lifting. These are things we might need to pick up to escalate our training even further. Things such as straps for back movements and holding movements. When you're lifting heavy weight in the gym, when you're holding on to a heavy barbell or heavy dumbbells, you don't want your grip to be a limiting factor. So as you can see here, I have straps for when I'm doing RDLs or rows so that the specific muscle group I'm training is genuinely getting taken to failure and my grip isn't in the equation. Things such as proper weightlifting shoes. When we're squatting or leg pressing or hitting legs in general, we need good shoes, whether they're flat or heel elevated, whatever we want to choose to make sure we're on a good foundation and actually pushing ourselves as hard as possible, getting the most out of our workouts. We're going to make it harder and we're going to keep getting better. The last and final stage, skyrocketed gains. Precision nutrition. The first thing we're going to do in this phase, nutrition wise, is adjusting current habits and meal plan to hit the new adjusted target numbers. Why do you think we're doing this? Why do you think we keep adjusting with each phase? Because as you keep making progress towards your desired body weight, towards your dream physique, you're going to keep running into barriers. You're going to keep running into plateaus. Think about this. Let's take gaining weight, for example. If you started at 190 pounds, and by this time, you've already packed on muscle, you've already packed on more mass on your frame, and now you weigh 200. Your basal metabolic rate, or how many calories you burn every single day just being alive, is now higher. You burn more calories because you're heavier. So the food that used to put us in a surplus and that used to fuel us and provide enough calories for us to slowly gain weight, it's not enough anymore. We need to adjust the target numbers, and it's the same thing for losing weight. As you lose weight, you burn less calories. You need to keep tweaking the numbers. So sticking to the new adjusted target numbers. Sticking to the exact calorie goals each week/day split. So we need to be making sure that we're hitting the exact target numbers that we just adjusted. Now, why do I say week/day split? Because There's a few scopes that you can look at this with. You can look at this on a day-to-day scope, or you can look at this on a week-to-week scope. So say you have a target number of hitting 2,000 calories every single day. You could eat 2,000 calories every single day and call it that. Or you could split it up a little bit. You could say, I need to hit 14,000 calories every single week. And then from there, you could have lower calorie days, higher calorie days, as long as the average lines up to be the exact calorie goal. This is where you learn about specific deficits and surplus. So not only are you on point with your nutrition, but you understand exactly what you need to adjust and tweak to keep making the specific progress towards your desired body weight undeniably. Tracking calories and protein. You've already been hitting your protein goal day in and day out. You've already been on your calorie split consistently. We need to make sure that we're still not giving up those habits, that we're directly on point with everything we're doing, because these inputs is what's actually going to lead to that desired output. And weighing out foods, we can no longer ballpark any of this stuff. And it's so incredibly easy. You just take one of these little scales. Instead of the normal foods that you usually make, you put it on the scale first, then you pour the food. It doesn't take much time at all. You just need to make sure you're consistent with these habits so your inputs line up with your desired output. Shifting your mindset to view tracking as a tool, not restriction. When used correctly, it lets you enjoy the foods you love while staying aligned to your physique goals. People think that calorie tracking is a massive restriction, that it doesn't allow them to eat the foods that they love. But in reality, it's the complete opposite. It actually gives you a lot of freedom, because when you have your new adjusted target numbers, you know the calorie content that you're supposed to be eating every single day. You're able to manipulate that and say, okay, this is exactly the macro content I need to eat. Anything can go in there. My carbs can be bread. It can be cookies. It can be things that I enjoy, right? I still need to stick to my protein. I still need to stick to these certain criteria. But this criteria is what guarantees me the results. So it's actually freedom within your guaranteed results. You're able to eat whatever you want aligned with your goals, guaranteeing the results. Stick to the plan and you guarantee your results. Growth-driven training. This is where mastering advanced movements and training techniques takes place. You've built the foundation. You've started incorporating more complicated movements already. This is where you start implementing training that is proven to stimulate more growth. Things such as eccentric focus training, focusing on the eccentric portion or the lowering portion of exercises, because stretching the muscle is where you actually grow. People think that it's a contraction, right? Imagine doing a bicep curl. People think that you curling the weight is what actually grows the muscle. It's not. It's the eccentric. It's you ripping the muscle apart. So eccentric focus training, deep stretch and range of motion, really focusing on the stretch of each exercise, because when a muscle is at its lengthened position, so when your bicep is lengthening at this very peak stretch, is where you actually achieve the most hypertrophy. And still, full range of motion, playing around with partial reps. Sometimes you don't need to do the full range of motion. You can just sit here in the partial range and just crank reps past failure, really stimulate the most hypertrophy you're ever going to get with your training. Efficient and effective muscle growth stimulus. When we're in the gym, we're just destroying our body in a sense, stimulating so much growth that when paired with recovery, we're going to see so much progress. Doing supersets and drop sets for efficiency. When we increase volume and we're training super hard, we don't want to be in the gym for too long. We don't want to be there for hours. So we can incorporate these things to make it more efficient and maximize mind-muscle connection. At this point, you can just bounce your titties. You can flex any muscle in your body because you have the mind-muscle connection developed and you're able to just destroy yourself in the gym. Understanding volume per muscle group and recovery. Again, we can analyze our physique and say, okay, the bicep seems to be really outweighing the tricep. The triceps need more work. Okay, we go to our program, we increase overall volume for triceps, we start hammering those even harder, and we might ease off a little on the biceps to maintain the mass that we currently have. Recovery strategies, such as active recovery, stretching and walking, super important to reduce delayed onset muscle soreness. Supplements and stress management. Supplements are amazing for recovery, and stress management, we can't have our cortisol too high. We can't be living a super stressed out, hectic lifestyle when achieving the physique of our dreams. Shock the body to grow is what we're doing in this stage. This actually, completely stole this from Arnold. This is Arnold's thing. You guys know Arnold, one of the most famous bodybuilders, okay? His whole thing was when he came into the gym to train, his goal was to shock the body, give his body some sort of style of training that he wasn't used to, push himself even further, shock his body to stimulate hypertrophy and actually grow in the gym. The Forged Physique blueprint turns average guys into high performers, shredding fat, building muscle, and reigniting confidence through a proven system that actually delivers. My clients have proven that with the Forged Physique blueprint, anyone can break through plateaus and finally build a physique that they're genuinely proud of. Look at my man Oliver, how he skyrocketed his physique within just 5 months. Not only did he reveal his first bicep vein and get leaner, but you can see the amount of mass that he was able to pack onto his frame. Or we have Jack, who just in 3 months lost 15 pounds of total body mass, but he also packed on muscle in the process. His arms are so much more defined. You can see the cap delt. You can see his abs and V-line coming in. Just 3 months. It's actually insane. The Forged Physique blueprint works for everybody. You might think, no, there has to be exceptions. There has to be, I'm a snowflake. I'm special. No, I'm telling you, if you implement these things and you genuinely set up a plan that's designed for you to succeed, it works for everybody. Look at the amount of mass and definition Nick was able to pack on within just 5 months' time. Sam, who was able to just blow his arms out of the water in just 2 months. Not only did he get leaner, but the mass, the muscle definition peeks through. Josh, who just got rid of his love handles and started developing that V-taper in his physique in just 3 months' time. Celso, who lost 30 pounds in just 2 months with a plan designed for his goals. Now, don't take any information away from this and say, okay, that's what I have to do. Because these are all tailored plans. These are all plans tailored to the specific client for them to adhere to and actually achieve the results. So what works for them doesn't necessarily work the best for everybody. Now that you understand exactly how this process works, I have an offer for you. If you're low confidence, exactly like I wasn't proud of the way I looked, and I had acne, and you're low energy, you feel like you can barely even go to the gym because you're just drowsy overall, and you're tired of not making consistent progress towards the physique that you want, and you're ready to work for a lean, muscular body that you're actually proud of, so that when you look in the mirror, you just have shredded abs, bicep veins, cap delts, aspects of your physique that you didn't even think were possible, but now you're genuinely proud of. You want to make crazy progress with your body as well as your mindset, because that's where it all stems from, is up here. And develop into the ultimate version of yourself. Follow a proven system that eliminates guesswork so your progress becomes predictable, not accidental. That's the thing about it, is you can guarantee results with fitness. You can guarantee results. And once you lock in, you guys see the proof. You guys see the results that everybody's able to achieve. So if this system is something that you're interested in, go ahead and go down to the description, book a call with me so that we're able to set up a tailored game plan towards your goals, not anybody else's physique, your goals, the physique that you want to achieve, the plan that you need to stick to, so that you're able to also achieve results like this, make transformations like this that are predictable and guaranteed, not accidental. I have nothing left to say. You have to take action and you have to implement all these things to genuinely skyrocket your progress, break through the plateaus, and start achieving the physique of your dreams. Thank you guys for tuning in.